crazy. Hey, but that's how it goes. Like this
Crazy
HOTTAKE!
Oh, shit.
So I've been pretty consumed by Baldur's Gate 3 this week. And so that, of course, made me reflect on early access. And that's what is going to be the HOTTAKE this week. And I kind of want to revisit how we feel about early access right now. Because I was thinking to myself, like, this game that is super unfinished and super buggy in a lot of ways is one of my favorite games of the year. And it's $60. You have to pay $60 right now to get a chunk of Baldur's Gate 3. And that definitely gave me some conflicting feelings. And I have a series of questions that I want to kind of go through with early access. But to start us at a base here, I guess I want to know, in general, what are your feelings on early access?
I like to wait. It's well documented, like I love to wait for a full game. I just have unlimited games to play. Why would I play something unfinished? To me, early access is a demo. Yeah. Like Rogue Legacy 2, Ben, we hopped into that early access earlier this year.
Right.
And I kind of just treated it like a demo. Like I remember talking to you, I thought, oh, maybe each time they do a biome, I'll hop back in. But now as time I've gotten away from it and time has moved on, it's like, okay, I enjoyed my time with it. I'm just going to wait for the full release. I treated it just as a demo.
So
I like to wait just because I have so many options, so many things to play. I just want the most optimized experience version, the finished package.
Huber, I totally understand that. And I agree in a lot of instances, but Baldur's Gate 3 has really challenged my perception of it. And a lot of it has to do with the type of game it is. So obviously, like I've been super anticipating Baldur's Gate 3 for a long time. So I was going to play it no matter what. But actually, because of the way that it was structured, so we got like pre-early access code and then our saves got wiped. And so I had to do like hours of stuff again, and I was really dreading it. I was like super bummed, but it ended up being a huge benefit because I was able to take the knowledge that I had kind of into that second run, and I learned so much, and there were things that I missed. And I think with a game that is as complex and offers as many choices as Baldur's Gate 3 does, I feel like when I go into the full release, it's like I'll have all of this knowledge that will probably make playing through even more enjoyable. I'll be lowering kind of that hill that you climb in terms of like just how things work.
I think it helps with games that have a lot of replayability.
Yeah.
Like when I think of like Hades when it was in early access,
right?
It's probably still great, and seeing the changes over time, you still have fun going back to it because it's like just great replaying it. And I think Baldur's Gate, like you said, Ben, is kind of the same way. Like I could easily see myself playing again and just doing something drastically different.
Yeah. So you think, Brad, to kind of get your general take on early access, you think it really depends on the game?
Yeah, to me, it's totally a case-by-case basis. Like, some things I feel like now, especially in our job, sometimes I feel like it's too big for me to ignore.
Mm-hmm.
When I think of, like, Baldur's Gate, I'm like, shit, I have to play this. Mm-hmm. Not only am I excited to play it, but I want to be able to talk about it because it's such a huge game.
Yeah.
But, like some games, I'm just kind of like, yeah, I can wait. I don't really need to play this right now.
Do you think early access is becoming more prevalent? And would you be okay with it being more prevalent in the future?
It seems like it's more prevalent now. I guess, like, I think it's just as long as everything's transparent and you know what you're getting into, it's fine.
Right.
Like, as long as you know that, it's okay. Like, I don't know if I would want to play, like, let's say the next Zelda game. I don't know if I'd really want to play an early access version of that.
Oh, Brad,
but maybe I would.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But it is, like, it's super hard for me to take a hard stance on it because, like we said earlier, it is literally just case by case and if I'm feeling it or not.
Brad, you actually hit on one of my questions, which is, would we be okay with, like, sort of a lot more major gaming franchises going into early access, like just hypothetically considering a Zelda early access or a Final Fantasy early access or
I don't know,
whatever,
man.
There's many names that you could throw at.
Yeah.
And this is not going to be the case for everybody, but as somebody who's very invested in Baldur's Gate 3, I'm really curious to see, from what I've heard, they handled Divinity Early Access super well. And I'm curious to see, like, okay, how directly do they respond to feedback? Like, I feel like despite being in this industry, we don't really get a great look at how games are made. And so I'm kind of interested in seeing how this thing evolves. And I think that's kind of cool. It's like, how drastically do they change this? How much do they add?
I've been watching, WoW Shadowlands has been in beta for a while.
Yeah.
Or it was alpha then beta. I've been keeping tabs on it, just seeing like how things, and like it's changed quite a bit, man. Just like even gameplay systems, how they work now are just so much more different from player feedback.
Yeah.
So I kind of agree with you on that sense of seeing its progression is
it's just interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huber, let's say Resident Evil 9, just, play ball with me here. Coming out early access, full thing won't be out for a year after the early access version comes out. Would you do it? Would you jump in? I mean, I think people would definitely expect you to, right?
Yeah, I'd probably have to stream it. I mean, but if I like didn't have to stream it or cover it,
you wouldn't.
Like, I'd want to wait.
Okay.
Because I feel like if Resident Evil was early access, it would be like, hey, play up until this point in the story, this point in the game. And I just, like, that's always in the back of my mind with early access is like, I feel like time is so precious. I have 1 trillion movies and shows and games I want to play.
Yeah.
And the amount of hours put into early access could be served so much better elsewhere with like a finished game.
I don't know. It's kind of weird. I kind of think of like almost like a demo, Ben.
Yeah.
You could play this demo of this game a year before it comes out. Like, I would play it in a lot of instances.
Yeah.
Like, I think of episode Dusky or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I played that game.
Mm-hmm.
I made an effort to play that kind of thing. And it's like, that changed dramatically from that.
I'm big on, I had this conversation with Kyle, I remember. I'm big on first steps. It's why I never played episode Dusky. Because my first steps in a video game are really special. Like, every time you boot up a game for the very first time, first time you move, first night you play that game, just no matter what, is different. Your first session with a game is always different than the other sessions. So I like to keep that close and special and sacred.
So I want to challenge this a little bit because I do think in some ways it just comes down to perception. So I want to use another recent game that came out that felt like I wish they would have called it early access. That would have felt more transparent, and that is Avengers. Thing is a mess, right? So I think it's weird a little bit to give all of this sort of credibility to just calling something not early access when that doesn't guarantee that it won't be a buggy, unfinished mess.
Right.
I will say at least the campaign story was like done, so I guess that's the distinction. Like, you can start Avengers and finish Avengers in a way, you can see the entire story till the credits.
Yeah. And Avengers isn't the only example. Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of bugs, like, you're absolutely right. Like, it probably should have been early access, especially considering the end game is so bare bones. But yeah, that's an interesting point.
Another thing that I want to bring up is price. So for as much as I'm willing to go for bat to bat for Baldur's Gate 3, and I really do love it, it's weirding me out that it is $60. Right now, this is $60 that you pay, okay, and you don't have to pay more later. It's not like they keep adding on to that. But
it's like pre-purchase. You buy the game now.
I guess just logically, it makes sense to me where it's like, okay, you're going to release a chunk of this game in an unfinished state. That's cool, but I almost feel like you should give a discount for people that are jumping in now, right? Where if it's like, if it's
even $5 or $10,
yeah, even $5 or $10 or $20, I think would be very appropriate. Like, why not do that? Like, why not reward those people who are going in? And I can't really justify it to myself. Yeah. And I think I would be more okay with early access across the board if there were concessions like that were made.
Well, that usually happens with early access games, is it is cheaper when it is in early access and the price does raise. I've seen that numerous times. So it is interesting that 60-hour gate.
Yeah, and if it was like $30,
Yeah.
I think that'd be appropriate for how big this early access is of this game. I don't know. I wonder if they're just like, well, we want to get, this is a very cynical take, but all the money we can get out of this kind of thing.
I'm sure that's exactly what it is. Yeah. But I don't know. I think
it's a hard ask.
It's a hard
for
ask.
a lot of people.
Yeah, it definitely is
I
a hard
think
ask.
for the hardcores, like a lot of people who have been playing it, is like these are people that are already invested in this game, so they're willing to spend the money because they know, especially with their track record with Divinity, I assume is pretty good. They've built up a lot of good faith, so maybe people are willing to spend a little more for it because of that.
Something that I was thinking about, they was a story from Jason Schreier about CDPR and crunch and all of that, and crunch has been a terrible ongoing problem and has come up repeatedly recently. And I was thinking about early access, and I was like, games are just so incredibly hard to make and so demanding on human resources that it's like, if maybe we found a early access model that everybody could agree with, where it's like, okay, we'll lower the price and like that will kind of maybe extend how long we work on it. And it's just like, if there's any way that we could just make this better for everybody, like theoretically, and this is certainly idealistic, right? I'm not saying that this is a magic bullet or anything. I'm just thinking out loud. I think maybe that would be a worthy trade-off. Do you guys agree with that? You know, if we could maybe reduce crunch and reduce kind of the strain of getting these monumental projects out.
I don't know if early access will necessarily get rid of that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
I just feel like almost like, I don't really know. I'm not a game dev. I just feel like sometimes it almost seems like a crunch phase is almost inevitable with a lot of games. Because it just seems like there's always something to do. Like, rarely do I hear about a game being done. Yeah. Done. That's it. Done.
I think like, that is true, but I think we should always probably be like working toward making it better.
Of course. I don't have a problem with trying to figure stuff out like that.
Yeah.
But at this phase in my knowledge of games, it just seems like almost an inevitable thing. At points, like severity of crunch matters, though.
Yeah, I imagine syncing your development and your marketing to like this one exact point is like hitting a bullseye. So that's why it always feels like these huge games are crunching.
Yeah.
Just, you know, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen, but I say just delay your damn games.
Yeah.
Eat your marketing money, even if it's millions. Like, I don't know. Shit.
Man, Hubert, like...
Or just pay your employees. Like, I don't know.
Delay your damn games is a really interesting point that you bring up. And not something that I was really thinking about because, like, delays matter less to me than ever, even if it's something that I'm really looking forward to and I'm super invested in, because there's so much to play, right? And obviously we have the luxury of being in this industry and getting access to a lot of things, but I think there are other things that have made it more accommodating in general as well. You know, I think the rise of Game Pass and just the rise of games being available digitally and the rise of free-to-play games, there's so many things going on. There's so much to sink time into that I think delays hurt less than they used to. Is that a fair point?
I think it hurts us less, maybe. I don't know. I think maybe like windows and release dates do matter for some games, maybe on selling. Obviously not every game. Like, I think Call of Duty could probably just come out whenever it wants and just be just fine. But I do wonder about like strategic release dates for some companies, especially smaller companies, stuff like that, who don't have the benefit of like advertising. They don't want to get buried in a certain time of the year by other games.
I have to wonder if early access contributes to FOMO or the fear of missing out in a negative way, where like I feel like I saw this a little bit with Baldur's Gate, where like I feel like people were like, oh, I wanted to wait, but like everybody's talking about it right now and all these people are streaming it, and like I kind of feel like I want to get in on it. And I understand that, but I feel like so much of gaming is kind of dominated by what we refer to as the zeitgeist. And I don't always think that's good, right? I understand that impulse. I feel that impulse. It's a very human impulse to feel, but I don't always think it's necessarily the healthiest. And I wonder if, you know, that culture and releasing things before they're ready only contributes to that sensation further. Hubert, do you
I
think?
think FOMO.
Never thought of it that way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, people want to like know what's going on, be a part of something.
Yeah.
People want to get in that Genshin Impact, dude.
But yeah, just from like my personal standpoint is like I tried to want to stay on top of some games, even if I don't have the best knowledge about it, because you know it is our job to cover games. Like not everyone needs to do that, but some things I definitely want to check out just to have information about. Like I could wait for Baldur's Gate. I could wait.
Yeah.
I'd be okay in being able to wait, but I don't regret playing it or anything.
No, I mean, in our position, right? It's like, yeah, I was going to play it no matter what, but it's nice to get your perspective. It's nice to have, you know, another ally comment on what's going on for sure. It has been, there's been a lot of controversies with games, things releasing in unfinished state, things still releasing buggy. You know, we've definitely seen a rise of early access. Do you have any fears going into the next generation that we're going to see repeats of stuff? Like, are people going to continue to pay for broken things in an unfair way?
Yes. I feel like that's just a cycle. Depending on, like, I don't know if the scale will always be the same, but there will definitely be games that come out that aren't finished or ready to come out.
Yep.
Like, we're still seeing it. Like, you just said Avengers. It's like, it's 2020. Like, shit like that still happens, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird with Avengers. And, like, I am amazed at how into that game I was and how out of it I am now. Like, I just truly don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't know. Just from someone who didn't play a lot of it, it seemed like you guys went pretty hard on it.
Yeah.
And maybe you just got burnt out.
Well, I felt like my investment was not being rewarded. Like, it's almost the opposite of Hades, right?
Oh,
Where I
but
felt
like that's the thing I had with Avengers. I didn't feel like I was ever going to get this reward from investing in it besides like some numbers going up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but even that, like, I enjoy numbers going up, and I just feel like there are other games that make the numbers go up better.
Yeah,
than
because
that did.
the numbers going up better, and it's more enjoyable doing that in some other games.
Yeah, like it's really. I honestly think you could put Hades and Avengers side by side of like exactly how to make progression and that loop addicting and consuming, and Avengers not, right? Or
yeah. Needs a lot of tweaks.